It's great to be here. I was just thinking, every year when I do this show, it's good for me because it's at some point I do not know who the third best prospect for the Tampa Bay Rays is. But by the end, when I leave for spring training in February, I will.
Yeah. How long does it take you to decompress after the postseason? Because it's an immersive thing when you're calling a postseason series or back-to-back in your case.
You know, it's funny you say that. I never really acknowledged that I took any time. And then I noticed that 2 or 3 days after a series that I do, I'd be napping at like 8:30 in the morning, and I'd fall asleep in the afternoon. So you really do. You totally get into it. You get into all these players as they're starting this journey, and you're trying to really be a caretaker for their history as they go through these great postseasons.
Well, you guys, your crew with B.A. and Frenchie on TBS, you had such a fun series, and you guys are such a fun watch together. We were all enjoying it on your behalf. While you were doing the work, we were enjoying the work you were doing. Let's get on to something happening on MLB Network later on this evening that Ron and I are going to preview for you to kick off the show today. Vegas, baby! Yeah, what could go wrong? Harold, Lauren, and Amsinger rolled up on the streets of Vegas. By the way, don't forget about Sierra Santos, who is absolutely up to no good for the last few days in the city of brotherly sin, or whatever they call it. Yeah, this is the site for the second annual All-MLB Awards Show. It'll be tonight, 8 Eastern, right here on MLB Network from the Chelsea Theater at the Cosmopolitan. It's a prestigious honor that's going to be attended by not one, not two, but a ton of superstar major league players, and awards will be handed out. So I guess as a way of previewing the night, I want your crack at this.
Okay.
As a big league starting pitcher yourself, the nominees for all MLB honors and its first and second team. Let's roll through some of these full screens here that Harold has made sure that we had prepared properly.
Fake news.
It's not fake news, Harold. You should know. You're out there hosting the show. 3 pages here, Ronnie. These are the nominees for starting pitcher honors. 5 first team and 5 second team all MLB pitchers will be named. So get a glance here. Tell me who pops off this page for you.
Okay, pops off the page would be Corbin Burns, Dylan Cease, and Logan Gilbert.
Fair.
Those are the 3 guys that pop off the page. But I did get to see at the end of the year when the Mets were really rolling, they faced the White Sox in Chicago and Garrett Crochet. He struck out the first 7 hitters he faced. It was the best stuff I saw to start a game of any pitcher this season. So
interesting.
He was amazing. And then I feel bad. We were always going to overlook Blanco, but what a season he had for a guy first time in the rotation.
Really good point. Here's another group of pitchers that are nominees for all MLB honors. Shota Imanaga started out the year like gangbusters. He was great through the break. Great all year when you consider the complete body of work. Seth Lugo is a nominee, a finalist for Cy Young honors. Sean Manaea, recrafted arm slot, terrific down the stretch. Miller and Reagans were great all year. And one last page of starters.
We got that full screen built?
It's built, Harold. It's built. Chris Sale and Zach Wheeler and Paul Skeens. They're your finalists for National League Cy Young. Tarek Skubal, the heavy chalk to win it in the American League. I don't even think there's a close second for Cy Young. Of this group, between Sale and Wheeler, we've talked about it, who we think, is going to win and who we think we would vote for. Where are you on that for National League Cy Young?
Okay, first I'll say Sale and Skubal, amazing, both Triple Crown winners. To have 2 lefties,
right?
Triple Crown winners in each league, that's amazing. Now, Sale and Wheeler, this is how I look at it. Zach Wheeler is starting to become the best pitcher we have that hasn't won a Cy Young award yet. That's kind of where he's at now, and I think he's going to finish second to Chris Sale this year, and Chris is a fantastic year. But when I think of Zach Wheeler, to me, and now I'm a big fan, he's the best 7-month pitcher we have in baseball.
That's a good way to put it.
Because he doesn't change a thing.
I wonder if sometime down the road the Academy gets together and decides to give Zach Wheeler the Cy Young Award in a less than Zach Wheeler year just because it's time, the way the Motion Picture Academy of Arts and Sciences gave Paul Newman the Academy Award for Color of Money.
That's right.
Because they'd snubbed him for so many years, and Color of Money was good, but it wasn't his best performance. Anyway, I digress. In that group, Skeens is the guy for me. He's going to win National League Rookie of the Year. I don't see an argument. And as good as the other 2 kids were on that board, what he did this year was complete magic, and he's going to be at the All-MLB Awards show tonight.
Oh, wow.
He's going to be. We'll hear from him. We'll see him in the flesh. This guy has a chance to be generationally good for a long time, and we have news a little bit later on a new pitching coach in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But did you watch him in person at all this year?
I couldn't take my eyes off him. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, historically, one of the greatest first seasons any pitcher has ever had. I was lucky enough to just chart the games of Dwight Gooden in 1984 when he had his historic rookie year. And I think the most recent, maybe Strasburg, his first year, remember that first start against Pittsburgh when he struck out 14? That was probably the last pitcher that you said to yourself, this is an automatic star in this league for many years to come, and I think Paul's the same.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Let's look at the relief pitcher nominees, and it's a shorter group because there aren't as many relief pitcher nominees or awardees in the first and second team for all MLB. And as we digest this list, you can make a case for all of these guys, of course. Emmanuel Clase allowed 5 runs all year long. Now, I know that he doubled that number in the postseason. He wasn't as effective, but you were teammates with Dennis Eckersley in 1990 when he allowed 5 earned runs all year. To be witness to a season like that.
5 earned runs all year. I mean, less than 10 walks all season long. The thing about Clase, I think he gave up 1 home run on the season. In a game where we are trying to protect our players more than ever before, he went to the mound on 4 straight days, 4 straight games, twice for the Guardians last year. That just doesn't happen in our game anymore. So it talks to not only his durability, his strength, but also his willingness to take the ball.
You know, the BBWAA awards are separate from this honor that we're going to learn about tonight, but they're both regular season honors. Yeah. So as hard as it is to remove the most recent sample size of Clase struggling against the Yankees from your brain, remember how dominant he was all regular season.
I was just thinking of Diaz in 2022 for the Mets. Edwin Diaz, that probably was a historical year. This was the historical year of 2024.
Good comp. There's another page of relief pitcher nominees to go through. And on this group, you know, Tanner Scott grabbed everybody's attention, and everybody expects big things from him moving forward for sure. He and Suarez, what a combination. These are not guys that you saw at the end of games exclusively. Maybe the exception here is Kirby Yates, but Matt Strahm was an all-star this year. He was great. We know how important to the Dodger bullpen Alex Vesia was. David Robertson just keeps doing it. This is an interesting list as well. But let's move on to outfielders because there might be more of a discussion here. And there are a few pages here. Jackson Churio's 20 years old. Ian Happ had a great year. Riley Green's going to be a star for a long time. We had to put Mookie Betts somewhere, Ron, so we put him as an outfield nominee.
You could put him anywhere. I mean, he could probably pitch if he had to. But, you know, the 2 names, of course, that jump out are Betts and Judge. I can't see how they won't be first team. And then the guy that had probably one of the most historic years all around, other than Bobby Witt Jr., is Jarren Duran. And the numbers he put up as a center fielder for the Red Sox, just remarkable.
So many players.
They're all depressing.
No, they're not. Are you kidding? These are some of the most exciting players in the league. Harold Anthony Santander's on the free agent market. And for teams that don't want to pay up on Juan Soto, Santander sitting there ready to hit 40 home runs and swing the bat from both sides of the plate.
I like that because Santander is one of those guys that maybe a team signs early before Soto signs his record contract at some point. Santander might be, for that team that doesn't want to go to the, I mean, we've heard 500, 600, whatever the millions are, maybe Santander signs with someone earlier because what a season he had. And he provides that pop in right field that maybe is not Juan Soto level, but just a level below.
You know, we could do this with every position. And again, the show is tonight at 8 Eastern. The only other position we want to hit, because there are so many talking points here, is first base. I mean, my goodness, we saw how the Kansas City Royals lineup deflated without Vinny Pasquantino. Vlad came on like gangbusters from June 1st on. Very sneaky, great season by Jake Berger. Pete Alonso, Bryce Harper, Christian Walker, who's on the free agent market.
There's a lot of good-looking dudes in baseball.
They're all good-looking dudes, Harold. Give me 1 or 2 guys here, Ron.
Well, I think, to me, a couple of things stand out. I'm amazed, really. I guess I shouldn't be amazed because he does everything so well. how Bryce Harper took to first base and took to it so easily and plays that position at a very high level while also producing Bryce Harper-type numbers. And I'm with you with Guerrero Jr. I think he has got to the place where he needs to be. I think there was a lot of growing up on the field and off the field. All players need that. He was at the big leagues at a very high level at a very young age. And I think he's at the place now where the next 5-year run in Guerrero Jr. might be fun to watch.
So all first and second team, all MLB will be named tonight, 8 Eastern from the Cosmopolitan Theater, Chelsea Theater at the Cosmopolitan Hotel. It's right here, the show, the All MLB Award Show, tonight, 8 Eastern. Let's move on. There was news last night. And while you were there is baseball going on, Ronnie, in Taiwan.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense, Harold. Wait, we'll explain it because JP Morosi has been there covering it. We're going to tap into JP because he just watched a game. There was a game that just wrapped up. We'll have a live report from Taiwan coming up next.
Outdoor baseball on the second day of the WBSC Premier 12 here in Taipei at the Tianmu Baseball Stadium. We're in the north part of town where generations ago there was a pretty strong American population that lived here. For that reason, the Taipei American School is just a couple blocks away from here, and actually the Taipei University is just behind the outfield wall here at Tianmu Stadium. Korea warming up behind me. They play Cuba tonight. We'll be back with the result of how things played out.
The installment of Hot Stove, proudly presented by the United States Marine Corps.
I, like Harold Reynolds, adore Taiwanese cuisine. There are some options here in Taipei, just in case you want a little taste of America, such as what's behind me right now, the inimitable Texas Roadhouse, where you can actually enjoy watching, how about that? The Premier 12 special watch parties here at the Texas Roadhouse. I'll probably stick with my favorite Taiwanese cuisine, but just in case, this option's available to you.
That's right, America, coming to you from Taiwan. JP, I don't know what kind of marketing budget the Premier 12 set aside to promote the event, but they could have channeled it all into you for the same bang for their buck, because you have been all over the place in this tournament, sharing the love and sharing the goodwill that's come from it and the great baseball that's being played. Good morning. I know you just watched a game, Korea and Cuba.
You look like you have some Cuban restaurant in Cuba.
No, he's in Taiwan. Trust us.
As you can probably gather from the backdrop here, yes, I am at Tianmu Baseball Stadium, so we have now jumped ahead in times. Before the break, I had you with the cliffhanger of what was going to happen between Korea and Cuba. Well, an 8-4 win for Team Korea here at Tianmu Baseball Stadium, and we will know this as the Do Young Kim game. A magnificent performance for the 21-year-old, 2 home runs, including this grand slam. He had 3 extra base hits in all against 3 different pitchers. And international baseball, you always have surprises. You're never quite sure how the other team's pitching plan is going to evolve. And when you get 3 extra base hits against 3 different pitchers, and when you're the youngest player on the field at 21 years of age, at least among the position players, that gets the attention of the major league scouts who are here in attendance. It's still going to be a number of years, we believe, before Kim makes his way to North America and MLB. But remember this night, remember this performance. He was brilliant over at third base. There have been some questions about him in terms of the defensive side of things. But we talk about great Korean position players who have come over. Ha-Sung Kim, Jung-Hoo Lee, now the Giant center fielder. Do Young Kim, with his performance tonight, it's one more bit of progress for him to show what he can do once he reaches MLB. Now, in addition to this, a quick little update. Yohan Moncada was hit by a pitch, actually, in this game. He's playing for Cuba. Armando Johnson, the manager, said afterward, no fracture, so good news there. He's looking for a major league contract before spring training. But talking about scouting, Matt and Ronnie, before the game, I was doing some scouting of myself around the stands. Here's how it turned out.
I love all of the dining options in Major League Baseball, but I've never seen a place called Ireland Funds that has what I would describe as a honey mustard style of poutine. Of course, the Expo is no longer Major League Baseball, but I feel like this is the same experience that I would have had in Montreal Olympic Stadium. So Never forget, we've got some amazing Ireland Funds honey mustard poutine here in Taipei.
That was a honey mustard cream sauce, we could call it, on top of French fries. I've never had it before. I will likely never have it again, but it was a unique delicacy. Ireland Funds. You can see the logo over my shoulder there. It was a smiling potato with fries as the hair of the potato. And yes, speaking of the scenery around here, that is a mannequin over my shoulder. This is the broadcast booth. So this is the main press box broadcast booth. You have a Dragons mannequin jersey. First time I've seen a mannequin in a broadcast booth ever, but a lot of first-time experiences for me on this trip to Taipei.
You know, Maddie and I were just talking about, we worked with a few mannequins, but it's what I wanted to ask you. You lost me when you said that the hair of the potato. I would have not tried that poutine French fry, but there are some expensive, or is an expensive artifact right now in Taiwan.
Yes, Taipei 101 is, for at least a few days, Ron, the home of Shohei Ohtani's 50-50 ball. It was actually purchased by a Taiwanese company. This was shared by MLB in the last couple of days. Heavily guarded, the 50-50 ball. So if you take the elevator to the top of Taipei 101, the largest skyscraper in Taiwan, you can get a chance to see the 50-50 ball. And notably, all around there are Dodgers apparel stands. There was actually a story in the English language newspaper in Taipei this morning about how there are many fans coming from Japan to now watch these games because, of course, Samurai Japan will play Korea tomorrow night, which is going to be an amazing game at the Taipei Dome Friday night, our time here in Taipei. And so this tourist experience includes coming to watch Samurai Japan, the #1 ranked team in the world, and then getting a chance to view the 50-50 ball at the top of the largest skyscraper in Taiwan. So this is all part of the experience that has been marketed and written about, by the way, on the front page, not the sports page, the front page of the paper here in Taipei.
Quite a thing. I mean, there's less security around the Hope Diamond, for love of Pete.
このシーズンもついに終わりを迎え、多くの感動とドラマが生まれましたね。特に MLB オールチームのアガ賞やサイ・ヤング賞、ルーキー・オブ・ザ・イヤーなど、今年もたくさんの選手たちが素晴らしい成績を収め、私たちファンに大きな喜びをもたらしてくれました。フアン・ソトやピート・アロンソ、クリス・セール、ザック・ウィーラーといった注目の選手たちは、これからどのような道を進むのでしょうか。新たなチームに移籍する選手もいれば、来シーズンへのリベンジを胸に、もう一度同じユニフォームに袖を通す選手もいることでしょう。これからの展開に期待が高まりますね。MLB は今やアメリカ国内だけでなく、世界中で注目されるスポーツとなりました。台湾で開催されたプレミア12のような国際大会は、野球が国境を越えて愛されていることを改めて感じさせてくれます。さまざまな国のファンが一堂に集まり、それぞれの文化やスタイルが交わる中で、野球の素晴らしさを再確認させられました。台北の球場での熱気、観客の声援、ローカルの食文化との触れ合いなど、単なる試合観戦を超えた貴重な体験が広がっており、プレミア12が成功した理由もそこにあるでしょう。国際的な舞台での経験を通じて、MLB の選手やファンが新たなつながりを築き、さらに大きな舞台で輝くことを願っています。また、来シーズンに向けて期待が高まる選手も多いですね。クリーブランド、ガーディアンズのシェーン・ビーバーは復帰への道を歩み始めており、ファンとしては一日も早く彼がマウンドに戻る方を見たいと思っています。スティーブン・クワンもまた攻撃力と守備力の両面でさらなる成長が期待され、チームに大きな貢献をすることでしょう。 そして、アトランタ・ブレーブスのように、開幕戦で翌選手が出場できないチームもありますが、彼らが困難を乗り越えて、どのような戦いを見せるのか、来シーズンのストーリーが今から楽しみです。野球ファンとして、選手たちの努力や成長を見守ることができるのは、本当に幸せなことですね。さらに、プレイヤー個々の活躍に加えて、MLB 全体としても新たなシーズンに向けた動きが活発化しています。例えば、ヤンキースやメッツといった名門チームがどのように戦力を補強し、勝利への準備を進めていくのかも注目です。ファンの皆さんの中にも、移籍やトレードを心待ちにしている方が多いと思います。それぞれのチームがどのようにシーズンを迎え、そしてどんな試合を展開するのか、MLB には予測不可能なドラマがたくさん待っています。野球は単なるスポーツを超え、私たちの心を動かし、日常に彩りを添えてくれる特別な存在です。さて、皆さんは今シーズン、どの選手やチームに注目していましたか？また、来シーズンの MLB で楽しみにしていることがあれば、ぜひコメント欄で教えてください。いいねとチャンネル登録もお忘れなく。私たちは最新の MLB ニュースやハイライトをお届けするために、これからも皆さんと一緒にこの野球の世界を楽しみ、盛り上げていきたいと思っています。選手たちと共に、私たちも MLB の一員として、熱い応援でシーズンを彩りましょう。次のシーズンが始まるまでの間、過去の名シーンを振り返りながら、皆さんと一緒にカウントダウンを楽しんでいきましょう。